Greetings and welcome to the Dicey Cantina and our podcast reboot of the series. I'm Andrew Armstrong III, your host and game master. If you're joining us for the first time, the Dicey Cantina is not only a bar, but a secret rebel hideout in the slum city of Central Isthmus on the planet Druckenwell, rimward on the Corellian trade node. There, it's run by Brack, who also leads the rebel cell, and with whatever crew he can cobble together each week, will strike back against the Empire. And with that, our story begins. On this planet far, far away, a long time ago.
Of course we can't get caught. I mean, Curtis Guru, I think he thinks I'm dead. He seemed to think he'd burn me out of my home. Well, or not burn me out, but burn me in when I didn't leave. I think he thought I was home.
Well, if everyone thinks you're dead, might have suggested disguise.
If you wouldn't mind showing me what you've got on the sewer that's between us and the relay.
Yeah.
Talk about that, and I'll... looks like Jaws and I will work on a disguise he just suggested.
That sounds good. You can actually use the costume room there in the back. And he gestures kind of behind him in the back corner. And for the first time, Lizzie, you're noticing that there's a woman standing on the stage that is kind of crudely put together with a single microphone. It's this kind of short, blue-skinned, muscular woman with bright red eyes who you remember as Nina. And she's in a sleeveless, bright red dress. And she's singing some of the local jazz numbers. She's actually just wrapping up as Brack is gesturing and coming down. She's kind of heading in your direction.
Drunken Lizzie
she comes,
just runs up and hugs her. Like, no pretense. Nina, oh, I'm so glad to see you.
Lizzie, what's wrong?
So many things, Nina. So many things. He just starts crying. I need a disguise.
A disguise? There's some more clothes in the back that you're more than welcome to help yourself to.
Great. Grab the Twi'lek. Come on, let's go. Suit me up.
Sure. Lizzie, I have to finish my shift behind the bar here, but I don't know if I should say. I don't want to add to your troubles, but Brack told me the truth. He told me that you lied that night you came to Kirsten's and why you're there. And I understand. I know why you did it. And believe me, I hold no grudge to it. Brack's been more than insistent that you didn't know the Sandman was in the sewers when we went down there. But we're all on the same side now, and I have to tell you, as long as we're on the same side, don't lie to me again.
I promise.
And she turns and heads to the bar
with
that
on
promise.
The back and says, "I'm so glad to see you here, Nina. I'm so glad to see you here.
And I hope things get better for you."
It's good to see a friendly face.
And so then the scene transitions back to the booth with Ginkgo and Veer and Brack kind of leaning in with a data pad, and he's showing you guys. You'll have to head to this section over here. There's a door here that is the access to the sewers. It's a WUC security door, so it's not too difficult to get through, but it's going to take a little bit of effort for it. And then once you're down there, you're going to have to basically work your way from the cables back this direction. So I've got a little bit of a map here, but as you can see here, you'll have to also kind of find your way down there.
Get to the door, follow the cables. Sounds easy enough to me.
Veer nods and studies the data a little bit longer. Then he kind of looks at Brack and looks over his shoulder and leans in and asks Brack, "Are you sure about her? She seems a little unstable."
She just lost everything. I'm going to give her a little bit of grace there. She's not normally like that. I as I was saying before, she's someone that we can rely on. Really.
All right, Bragg.
I trust her.
If you trust her,
And I was thinking about the their part of the mission. Do you guys have any Imperial Inspector uniforms she could wear?
No, the Empire's new here. We haven't gotten our hands on anything along those lines. But it's not a bad idea. I don't know if the substation knows what an Imperial Inspector uniform looks like.
I mean, I don't think Jaws would pass for Imperial, but maybe slave labor.
Yeah, it's true. The Empire and their human-centric ways.
Just an idea. You might pass it on to her.
Sure. So as you guys pack up and leave the cantina, we'll go to Jessica and Brian in the backstage wardrobe room where you're hatching your plan.
Right. So Lizzie goes back into the costume room and she finds something that looks as official as possible, like as much like a suit or a uniform. She combines some of her own clothing elements, like she's got some slacks that fit her really nicely, and she trades off her duster jacket for something that looks like because she knows she's going to a substation, and she's been to places like that. She's been to SGI, like she's trying to find something that looks.
You go professional.
Yeah.
I'm going to go engineer. I'm going to dress the part of an engineer. I'm going to carry a clipboard. I'm going to wear a vest, an orange vest. I'm going to put on some coveralls that cover me from head until they're long sleeve, and I'm going to take a little grease and put it on the sleeves a little bit, make it look like I've done some work. So she's going to play the part of executive, and I'm going to play the part of the engineer that's kind of leading her around.
Lizzie turns to Jaws and says, "No, you're not leading me anywhere. You're my slave. That's how they work." Sorry. It's just for show, I assure you. So she cleans up the soot off of her face, and she, gets in front of the mirror in the sink, and she slicks her curly hair. She takes her hat off for the first time maybe ever, rakes her hands through it again, and then slicks her hair back. She finds some gel, and she slicks her hair back into a tight bun. One curl is unruly and just escapes out the front right by her eyes. But she styles her hair, perhaps for the first time in her life. She makes an attempt and styles her hair into a tight bun. She finds a jacket that is, SGI/Imperial enough looking. And she puts herself together to look like a muckety muck, somebody who should be in a position of authority. And she feels like she looks enough not like herself, she hopes. And she takes her newfound Twi'lek, goes out to Brack and says, "How do I look?"
Well, I think you look the part, definitely. And you've got Jaws here looking like he can help you out there.
Yeah. She's done some pretty severe eyeliner, much more makeup than Lizzie normally wears because she's usually pretty barefaced, but she's looking pretty done up.
Just to be clear, I'm not turning any wrenches. I am good at looking the part, but if we've got to do anything, we're gonna have to get someone else to do it.
I'll handle it.
Oh, hopefully you guys are just turning on the power from the computer there. You should know some things about the substation as you guys go in. It's not a very big substation. It's got just a handful of people that operate out of it. It's much more bureaucratic focused.
What's the hierarchy there? Who runs it?
Elit Riku.
Elit Linku?
Riku.
Do we have a personnel file on her?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Who's her boss?
Well, since she's a station manager, she would report to the district manager. I haven't dug that deep into Wuck's structure to know for sure who that might be.
Who's above the district manager? I want someone she's never met.
She's never met. Let's see. Districts would be sectors after that. So sectors, and then the planetary authority from there.
Okay.
So who's in the planetary authority that I could pose as? I want somebody 2 or 3 levels above her that I can be, that she won't recognize.
A familiar name, but not a familiar face.
Exactly.
Mm.
Lizzie thinks it
Well,
Jaws. I like.
Good old Theo's cleaning house. He's making all different kinds of appointments.
Then we just need a name for me. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's true.
Okay. What about family? I find that the whip works better than honey. What kind of, do we have any family members that may be in trouble or anything? Gambling debts, maybe a little bit of dirt, some blackmail.
Blackmail could definitely be a route you might want to go. I'm looking here. So the black market here, Jaws, since you're new, you may not know that the SGI generated a lot of assassin droid parts. They didn't make assassin droids themselves, but they made everything you might need to build them. She was in distribution for SGI for a while, so she probably has a black market pass to her that you can uncover.
Lizzie snaps her fingers and says, I got it.
Well, you guys seem like you have a plan. Here's everything I have on her profile, and he uploads it to your data pad.
Ooh, interesting. All right, let's go do this. I guess we're ready.
We're ready. Okay. Where we left you guys off last, you had just left the Dicey Cantina and were working your way down the narrow alley-like streets of Central Isthmus, the kind of cyberpunk slum to this industrialized planet. I don't know if I described it previously for you guys, but this is an abandoned city that is now populated with all of the people who have found themselves homeless for one reason or another. The cities on Druckenwell, except for the capital, are all corporate based. They are run and operated by a corporation for a specific purpose. And so as long as you're an employee there, you have a place to live. But as soon as you're no longer an employee, you have nowhere to go. And it's actually incredibly difficult to get off of Druckenwell to afford passage off the planet. And so people have naturally migrated to Central Isthmus as a place that had a lot of open space, as it was a failed residential city. It's almost its own city in its size, and many of the swoop gangs hang out there. And so it's got kind of a gruff and gritty exterior as you're making your way through. And there's a giant kind of widespread overpass high above your head, blots out most of the sky. Very few cracks in it can you see the stars or anything like that. And so it's kind of a perpetual night. As you headed out, you made your way down a few of the twists and turns of the alleys. You scared a couple of alley cats, and it's very little activity out on the streets as a whole, even though there's a few people here and there. You get to the WC access point, the Wuck access point for the utility company, which is a Durcrete wall with a plasteel door, kind of a blast door there that has an access panel with a lock on it. And the door is obviously locked and encrypted, and so you guys will have to find your way through this door in order to get down into the sewers. And with that, I'll leave it to you guys to discuss your plan of entry.
Well, I guess this is the place. Let's see here. It's got an access panel. I bet I could slice into that.
Well, sure, give it a whirl.
I'm pretty good with computers.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, I've seen these things throughout my training. I feel like this should be pretty easy. It's pretty average. Nothing too high tech.
Veer kind of looks at it and smirks a little bit, and then shrug his shoulders and lean back up against the wall and gesture like, okay, go ahead.
All right, cool.
After you.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen, right? All right, so 2 purple dice, is that what I'm rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it 2 black dice?
Purple.
2 purple, okay.
And we'll get this kicked off early. I will spend my destiny token to make it a purple and a red.
And a red. And I got a success and an advantage.
So you have MS-33 around you, who beeps quite happily. And the door whoosh, slides open. There's a distinct smell of sewer and a kind of narrow staircase that bends off to the right and goes down into the dark of the sewer there.
See? Piece of krill.
Yeah, not bad for off-worlder.
All right, 33. Let's go.
You guys should hear some of the voices I did last week. This is cakewalk. Right, so for that, it transitions, and we cut over to Lizzie and Jaws. Lizzie, you and Jaws have arrived at Station 11. The station is a medium-sized office building. It's kind of gray and drab and federal-looking, just a big box. And you're standing in the parking lot, basically, where there's a few speeders there. There's nothing particularly special about it. It's got a chain link fence that works its way around the back of the building. That's got some of the electrical repair style speeders back there, and you can see through a couple glass doors. There's a reception area just inside with a receptionist sitting there. Not really looking out the window. She's kind of turned to the side, like she's on the phone or the comm, as it were. There's a couple of security cameras on the corners of the buildings that you guys can see out there. And you're standing in the parking lot, basically having just arrived, but you have enough privacy to go over your plan. So what's your plan for getting inside?
All right, so you say you can bluff anybody, right?
Yeah, just leave that to me. That's the plan. There's no use in sneaking in here. I'm not the stealthiest guy, but I say we make it up as we go along.
Okay, so I am Deandra Pointpot, and I am the galactic inspector for this sector. We need power turned on to Sector 34B immediately. You are my slave assistant.
Well, I think I like this dynamic. If I'm your assistant...
So, Jaws, you can't just, sign up for the Empire and then get a job as a secretary. They would just... You're a slave.
I've never had a real job. I don't know
not
how these
surprised.
things go. I've been in the Outer Rim a lot, and I just...
Yeah, not surprised you've never had a real job. But, so just so you know how... the Empire works is they don't like your kind here, and so you can be my slave assistant. So
I'm going to be White Claw. That will be my name. So what was your name again?
Deandra Pointpot.
Deandra Pointpot. Let's write that down so I can refer to it. We're gonna write it on the inside of my palm. And I may mispronounce it.
No, you wouldn't dare. You're a slave.
Because I'm sweating.
Oh, I'm totally spending my my first token to make you sweaty.
And we're talking to...
Deandra
Pointpot.
Let me write this. Your handwriting is terrible.
My handwriting is perfect. Who are we? We're here to see... What was her name again?
Elit Riku.
Okay.
And you are...
All right, so we're hashing this out. I'm White Claw.
All right. And it's...
Sector 32B. Mm-hmm. So we're writing this all in my hands.
Alrighty. So, I guess we're as ready as we're going to get, right? You know what you're going to say?
Okay, I'm going to walk in there like... What the hell are you guys doing? This place is trash. How dare you not have a welcome party waiting for us?
For me, not us. Me.
For Miss Deandra.
Miss Poinpuff.
Miss Poinpuff. Oof, I've got to use the last name. That's... I've played formal characters before, but this is... It's been a while. Okay, let's go for it.
We put on our game faces and look. Lizzie does her best to look imperious.
Hit me with the interaction.
What are you doing here? Where is your identification?
Where's our welcome party? Are you kidding me? Usually there's a red carpet here. Miss Poinpuff has not had lunch yet. Where's our lunch? We demand...
I'm sorry, I wasn't informed that anyone was coming. Can I see
How are you not
paperwork?
informed? Are you kidding me?
You are very mouthy for a Twi'lek.
I'll forgive this instance if you just open the door and let us through. We have appointments to keep. We have not had lunch yet. Miss Poinpuff is going to kill me.
Miss Riku is not expecting an appointment. I was not told of any appointment.
It's okay. The Empire just took over this world. You haven't dealt with this yet. It's fine. We'll just let this pass. Open the door. We're gonna go through.
I don't know. That sounded pretty good to me.
Does Lizzie approve?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that sounds pretty good. If she doesn't go through that, then I'll have to step in and make something up. But
oh yeah, we'll just let me run the lead, and if we run into any trouble, you can hush me, silence me, disrespect me, whatever you do. You can actually a good thing to disrespect me would probably be like make me lay down and then you step on me so you can see the counter better.
No, that's way too much. I'll just snap, and when I snap, you need to shut up.
I think doing something disrespectful to me and having me immediately switch demeanor from being disrespectful to this receptionist to immediately being obedient. Doing something disrespectful like making me take off my jacket and setting it down so you can walk.
It's too much. Like, if I snap, you should shut up.
Okay.
That'll probably be enough. And if it's not, then I don't know, I'll smack you around or something. I'm going to let Jaws or White Claw walk first, and I'm going to come in, 3 or 4 steps behind him. I'm letting him, hold the door open and be all obsequious and kind of groveling, but then, he can regain his composure in front of the secretary, but he needs to hold the door for me, somehow entering before me and announcing my arrival while holding the door for me so that I can walk through and I don't have to touch anything.
So as you guys come into the main entrance, you see behind the desk sits an elderly, gravelly voiced receptionist at the comm. She doesn't notice you coming in or even at the door. She just continues her conversation that she's having while she polishes her nails on the comm. Clive, booby, I'm going out with Eric at the end of the week, and that's final. His 622 is simply better than yours. I have no desire to remain a receptionist any longer than it takes me to land a partner. Look, I have work. Bye. She hits the button to turn off the comm, and then she looks up, seeing you for the first time. Oh, darling, don't sneak up on me like that. My name is Rosna, and I'm the receptionist here at Wook Station 11. What can I do for you? That's all for this week, but come back next week for more from the Dicey Cantina. If you're enjoying the show and you want to help us grow, please leave a 5-star rating and review on your favorite pod service. Subscribe to the podcast, of course, and recommend us to all your friends. You can also find us on social media on Facebook, as well as YouTube at Dicey Cantina, all one word. The Dicey Cantina is GM'd by myself, Andrew Armstrong III. Lizzie Pree is played by Jessica Martin. Veer is played by Paul Craig. Ginkgo is played by Grant Bowen, and Jaws is played by Brian Russell. The Force and Destiny role-playing game is a product of Fantasy Flight Games from fantasyflightgames.com. Star Wars is owned by Disney and Lucasfilm and is created by George Lucas. See you next week in the Dicey Cantina.